My name is Scott Barnim. I'm a potter from Dundas, Ontario, and I am going to work with decorating and firing Persian lusterware. The kind of lusterware that this is a technique that's really restricted to the earthenware temperature range. So it's a lower temperature piece, but unlike lots of Maiolica type glazes, a glaze for luster is designed a little bit differently so that it has a much broader range at which the glaze starts to soften. If you made a glaze that softened very early in the process for highly painted Maiolica, all your beautiful painting would start to run like a chalk drawing on a rainy day. So those glazes are designed to sort of melt just at the end and freeze and hold the painting. Whereas these glazes are designed to yield to the process early because I'm doing a third firing. What I've made is a thrown earthenware piece and glazed with glazes that I've worked out that will mimic those 1,000-year-old glazes. The luster compounds themselves are made of a mixture of clay and ochre. And ochre can come in a couple of different colors. I've got yellow ochre, and I've ended up using it as a kind of coating for me when I'm loading the kiln. So the compounds that I make that are with just silver as the metal, I use a yellow ochre, and the compounds I've made that contain copper in their salt forms, I've used red ochre in the mixture so that I have an indication, because the silvers will respond better to cooler temperatures, and the coppers will tolerate higher temperatures in the kiln. This is the kiln that I'm firing luster in. It's a fuel burning kiln, and at this point it's fired with propane, but I'm going to also do a really profound cycle of reduction using wooden shingles in this case. What I need are really thin strips of wood that will burn really fast and really hard and then be burned up. So I'm waiting for a temperature of about 655 Celsius. It's been on about 5 hours now, and I'm just coming up to that temperature soon. And what I'm going to do is several cycles where I charge the kiln or put in these bundles of wood shingles, and seal up the kiln quite tight. And they'll burn really hard, really fast. There will be almost no oxygen going in the kiln, but because there's fuel and because there's heat, there's going to be combustion. And so the burning fuel will be looking for oxygen molecules wherever it can find them. And in this case, it will starve the oxygen from the surface of the pots and from the luster compound that I've decorated on there. And in that way, if everything works right, the silver salts that were in solution, in fluid, in the luster compound will be attracted to the glaze surface. They'll look for oxygen molecules there and actually will bind to the surface of the glaze. And the carrier, the ochre and the clay that all that was floating in, so I could brush with it, will stay up on the surface and not stick to the glaze. So that's the goal. Okay, so I'm done. The kiln's off. We've just sealed it up. I've done all 5 cycles of reduction and the clear burning cycles in between of oxidation. After the 3rd reduction cycle, I pulled some rings, and then again the 4th and the 5th at the end. Of course, you want to see them all. And these give me an indication of the kind of results I could anticipate tomorrow. So this isn't exactly what will have happened inside the kiln because these were pulled out and cooled immediately. But they give one an indication, and from the reading of the rings, I think we've got a pretty good result inside. All right, here I am. It's the next day, and the kiln has cooled overnight. It's down to 60 degrees C, so it's cool enough for us to comfortably get in here and handle the work. I'm going to unbrick the door of the kiln. We'll get the work out. We'll wash off the residue, the remaining luster compound, and we're going to see what we got in here. Hopefully it's good. Oh my. This is going to look great when I turn it around here. You can see here the the dark brown of the luster compound after the firing, and that's what I'm actually washing off the surface, and beneath it is the this really spectacular red and gold luster. So there we have it. That's how you do Persian lusterware. And it was, it's going to be a great firing. It's going to take me an hour or so to really, maybe a couple hours to really wash all these pieces off and really take stock of what's happened. But we can see from the beginning that this has been a really, really good firing. So I'm very pleased this was one that the Gardiner Museum was able to come out and film. Thank you so much.